What is up, mortals? Alex here. Today I have a deck profile. A deck profile on my competitive deck for the remainder of the year, most likely. The deck that I played or late last year. Thunder Dragons. I've been loving this deck since day one. Even before we got him, I had him in Japanese. My friend Ryan Levine got him. He went to Japan, he got him, and I was playing at locals, and it was so much fun. Then it evolved into a danger nonsense that we currently have still. I believe that deck is the best deck. No contest, no other deck has a chance. The deck is really strong, but I'm still sticking to pure Thunder Dragons. I just think that summoning Colossus and having a few hand traps is still really good. Lots of decks struggle against Colossus, so I figure, you know what? I'm gonna summon Colossus and like sit on it and probably win the game. The deck is still very aggressive, don't get me wrong. It's not just summon this guy and pass. No, you have access to your Link monsters, your big Boro monsters, and Titans. And you'll see some spikes that I'm playing in the extra deck that it makes the deck a lot better than most people give it credit to. I took it to a tournament this past weekend, and I destroyed everybody. I mean, I did tie against somebody because the mirror match is really annoying, so I feel like I have to work on my side deck. Maybe add some super polys. The mirror match is really obnoxious, so I will be showing you the deck. I'll be explaining my choices, and hopefully you guys love long deck profiles. So we're going to start with the main monsters. So before I start, my deck profiles usually take a lot longer than most people. So if you want to know exactly why I play certain cards, stay tuned, just stick with me. If not, then I'll post the deck list down below and you guys can see it. But if you guys want to learn the deck the most efficient way and the best way, just stick with me, and I promise you'll learn a little bit more than you knew. So first of all, we play 3 Thunder Dragons. The best, I can't say the best one, but it's the heart of the deck. A lot of the plays involves him. If you don't have access to him, your plays are actually very support. And before, I've heard people wanting to play only 2, and I think some people in the danger deck list played only 2 for a little bit. They didn't want to overdraw it, but in this deck, you play 3 because you need to. It's fuel in the graveyard for your big fusions, and it also helps Titan clear boards. There's times that you can pop up to 6 times with Titan in one turn, which is really huge. You just have to play 3. Any less, it wouldn't be correct. For my favorite one, and in my opinion the best one, Dark. Dark has 2 effects, much like the new Thunder Dragons. And if you didn't know, the Thunder Dragons share 2 of the same effects. They can discard themselves to do something, and when they're banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, they do something else. So the original Thunder Dragon doesn't have that. We don't have to worry about him. He has the discard effect, which triggers the way to summon Colossus. But in this case, Dark, its discard effect lets you add a copy of itself, which is really cool. It puts a Dark in the graveyard for your Chaos monsters, which we are. We'll get into that later. But he has the effect on field and or banish. When sent from the field to the graveyard, he allows you to search any Thunder Dragon card. Any Thunder Dragon card. So he can get to any of the monsters or the spells and traps. You just have to play 3. Probably the second best one, Roar. And they're lights and darks if you haven't noticed. Lights and darks are best. So Roar is Graph. If you don't know what Graph is, well, it's Mystic Tomato. And if you don't know what Mystic Tomato does, it summons a Thunder Dragon monster from the deck when it's banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, which is really good. It summons Dark, usually it summons Dark. And if Dark got you to Roar and Roar was used to do something else, you usually go for your Matrix, and I'll get to that later. But him being a Dark, it fuels your Allure Of Darkness plays. It makes sure that Allure becomes a +2, like a draw 2, and a +2 because it'll give you a body and not a Thunder Dragon that usually floats. So maximizing of this, I think, is correct, mainly because I am playing the pure Thunder Dragon that I need all my cards. I can't just go like, oh, danger, search, draw, certain. No, you need to play 3 of that. Trust me. Some people have cut it to 2. I don't agree with that. We'll play 3 Matrix as well. Matrix is in the Thunder Dragon list that the Danger, Thunder, Chaos. They don't play this because you don't have to. In my deck, it's a 2, sometimes a 3. It's definitely a 2 off. No more, no less than that. But you can get away with playing 3. And in my list, I've just found out that 3 works best. It also triggers Titan. The effect that this one does is you can send it from your hand to the graveyard, target a thunder monster on the field, and it gains 500 per minute. It's not until the end of the turn. And when it's sent from the field to the graveyard and or banish, it lets you add a copy of itself. So it keeps basically the resources are there. You never really run out of resources because the cards are really good, and you'll see what I mean. Every single card in this deck is really powerful. I'm playing 2 Hawks now, not 3. I kept drawing multiples, and it was not good. His banishing and or field to graveyard effect's not the greatest. Sometimes it helps. It actually breaks you really badly. But the hand effect is why you play him, and there's ways to recycle him, so I feel like 2 is fine. I am playing 1 Pot of Desires, but I'm playing Desires in like first thing, then I need it to. And if I banish both, well, sad me. Duo can put it back later, so just 2 is good. I kept dead drawing it, so he's one of the better ones, but he's still too many. For one of my favorite ones as well, Duo. Or did I say? I'm sorry, Hawk. This one's Duo, that one's Hawk. Duo, one of the better ones. He just comes and usually like unleashes hell on your opponent, especially when you drop it first thing on a following turn, banishing Dark or Roar and a Matrix. The advantage generated is too much, so one is really good, but I feel like having the second one, it's so much clutch than having one. I'm not playing BLS, I'm not playing Chaos Emperor Dragon. I am in fact playing 1 Chaos Dragon Levineer to be a bomb, basically have access to a card that once my graveyard is set up, I just need something to be a nuke, be a bomb, something that allows me to generate enough advantage so my opponent basically concedes. And if it happens to resolve, then I just win the game. But 2 Duos, very strong card. I definitely recommend playing at a 2. Any less at 1 is fine. I just think that 2 is good. And hopefully I am recording. I sure am. We're gonna talk about the normal summons, and I am playing 3 Solars. Solar. Let's see. Yeah, 3 Solar, 1 Aloof, and 1 Denko. We're gonna talk about these 3 first. 3 Solar over any of the other ones. This is something that I went back and forth. I played 2 and 2, 3 and 3. 3 and 3 was definitely, and I mean 3 of these of each. 3 and 3 is definitely too many. I kept having them in my hand. Not even Allure Of Darkness would save me, and at that point I was playing the baby Chaos Dragons. So maybe my hands were a little clunky. Up until recently, I realized that Solar this guy can send anything. He can send Duo, then Dark it back, and he can send any Thunder monster. So if you're missing that 1 Thunder Dragon, you can just send it there and then start summoning your Colossus with your fusion spells, or you can send Dark for you to make a Chaos play. It's just really good. He himself is a Thunder, which Aloof is not. He's a light, yeah, which sucks, but whatever. He generates a token, and that token matters. That extra body matters. So I decided to just go 3 Solar, 1 Aloof, because this card is still really strong. So a lot of people, once I leave them on the field after summoning a Colossus or 2, they just don't want to kill this guy. They do not want to give me back the Thunder Dragon Dark or Roar that I banished. This card is actually really good. It like starts your engine and like turbocharges it. It's crazy, but just the 1. And the 1 Denko as well. My deck doesn't really utilize its normal summon. As you can see, there's only 5, and it's like, oh, we don't really need them, but they're really cool. Denko, it's a searchable way to out back row. In the game 1, my opponent's sitting behind a bunch of traps. I happen to have this Denko, and I'm pretty sure that should be game, or even late play. They're waiting for me to do something dumb, and they're like basically outplaying me. I'll just search Denko with Duo or Thunder Dragon Fusion. The one Denko has been working out just fine. For the hand traps, I am playing quite a lot. 3 Ash Blossoms. This is the part of the video that I will not be explaining because hand traps. 3 Ash, 3 Effect Veiler, 2 Ghost Ogre. Sky Striker is still very popular, and Saryuya is still very good. Effect Veiler handles Saryuya just fine. Ogre handles Sky Striker. It handles Guard Dragons, LP, really huge. Pendulums in general, like hitting that Electromite sometimes might be key, and or hitting the Endymion card. Ogre is pretty good. It's hit Saryuya, so you don't want to give him those arrows. So this is the one I'm playing. The lineup, I was playing Belle forever ago, but people stopped playing Call by the Grave, so I put Belle in my side deck. 1 Phantazmay, because I do not own more, and if I own more, I would just play 2. So I'm working on getting a second one, and in replacement, I'm playing 1 DD Crow. The DD Crow, it's really cool. Huge fan of DD Crow. I've been playing the game for a while, and DD Crow has always been in my side decks, and I'm glad that I get to play it again. And this is my main deck, by the way. My side deck used to have DD Crows too. Once I get a Phantazmay, I would add it here and just still keep that DD Crow. It's a dark for a lord if you want to keep all my darks, and it's not once per turn, so if you happen to have multiples, DD Crow, guys, really strong. So you can see lots of hand traps, very standard list. Besides the Denko and the Aloof, some people don't even play either of those. That's it for the monsters. Lots of monsters. Let's see, 1, 2. It's only like 7 spells and traps, 8 spells and traps. To start, we're gonna go with Gold Sark. Activate Gold Sark in this deck, and you'll see what I mean. Gold Sark is one of those. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. So is Allure of Darkness. I'm a huge fan of this card. I'm sorry, I have to keep checking. I'm a huge fan of Allure. When it was a 1, I played it. When it was a 2, I loved it. Now it's a 3, I play it in every single one of my decks. And this deck is even best. Banishing Dark and Roar. Really good. So play 3 of these because Pot of Greed, it's really good. Starts our engine. One of my favorite cards in the entire game, Thunder Dragon Fusion, which is true, one of my favorite cards. It fuses really good fusion monsters from your monsters from your field, graveyard, or banish pile. That's crazy good. It just basically recycles your engine, and it makes it really strong. And in the graveyard, for next turn, it lets you get any thunder monster. Any thunder monster is usually good duo or hawk, but any thunder monster. 1 Pot of Desires, because I'm playing a lot of 3-ofs and I don't mind banishing a copy or 2 of them. But sometimes the deck is very slow. Like, our hands are not the best. This is not the best deck, but it's really strong deck. Especially my list has been tested to work. And the 1 Desires is Pot of Greed. It allows me to like maybe fix my hand or allows me to play. And for the last card, I'm playing 1 Imperial Order, because Sky Striker is very popular. There's a lot of bad kids playing Striker. Pendulums right now are very popular again. And Order stops all of that. It stops Draco, which I'm so sick of that deck. It's just like a bomb. If I happen to have this and my opponent can't out a Colossus or 2, it's usually game. So that's it for the main deck. That's 40 cards. You know, I haven't played 40 cards in a long time, so 40. For the extra deck, 3 Colossus, still a 3. I'm surprised still a 3. Honestly, such an amazing card. 2 would have been really good. At 3 at 1 would have just hurt too much. I've been seeing duels from Japan, and the 1 Colossus, man, it hurts. So I'm glad it's still at 3. It might go to 1 next ban list. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, time to adapt. Colossus, the heart and soul of your deck. Play 3 of them. Titan, 3. You just have to. He is so good. Definitely my favorite one. Titan is one of those cards that it has potential to be broken, and it is broken when you recycle your Thunder Dragon your regular Thunder Dragon after like using its effect twice with Titan. Let me tell you, that's some feeling your opponent knows they've been destroyed completely. And it's super easy to summon multiples of these. And he's 32, guys. Like, Jesus Christ. Play 3 times. And pure. 1. You don't need more than 1. 2 is cool. But it's fine. Just play the 1. You still have to play 1, though. Linkuriboh and Colossus pass is usually very strong, and that will win you games, and that will be the only play you have. So you play the 1 Linkuriboh, because Matrix, it's a 1. Beat Cop. This will become Cyframe Lambda when I get my hands on 1, but Beat Cop's not bad. It protects something, I guess, but it's also a dark. But this will become Cyframe Lambda eventually. Security Dragon. Security Dragon, it says it's good removal. Its arrows are not the greatest, but it's good removal against Summon Grade. It forces things out because it's giving them a summon directly. So they bounce the Silent Wolf or whatever. Basically, it's a forced negation. Against Saryuya, you bounce it and just do other things. It's not a bad card. It's good removal against the deck because the deck doesn't have very much removal besides Titan. And by battle, I guess. Nightmares are the way to go, so if you need removal, you play 1 each of the Nightmares. So Phoenix is probably the best one, followed by Unicorn. You need to remove some threats sometimes. Battle and Destruction, it's the way to out things in this deck. It's the only way to. So having a generic removal in the extra deck, it feels good. Borreload. I wanted to play Abramax. I love Abramax. But Borreload can snatch opposing Borreloads and Abramaxes, and this is not the fastest deck, even though you can still TK. It's not the fastest deck, and Borreload control is really good. And for the spies, one that it's like been winning me lots of games is the trains. You can summon this guy by using 2 level 10 monsters. The only 2 level 10 monsters that we can summon are 2 Titans. Okay, summon 2 Titans turns. Okay, pay 2,000. I win the game. Cool, whatever. Oh, I'm going second, popping all your back row. You have a bunch of monsters. Cool. Summon this dude. Attack for game. Really good. You should definitely look into this if you're playing Pure Thunder. There's a lot of cards I want to try out, but these 2 have been amazing. I highly recommend. There's some things that I might change. Like I said, the Beat Cop will become a Cyframe Lambda, and I want to get a BLS Link monster somewhere in here. I don't know what to cut yet. Maybe one of the Titans will be cut for the BLS Link, but it's a card that will allow you to have a lot more firepower. But that's it for the extra deck. 15, of course. The side deck, it's gonna be changing a lot, so it's what I came up with recently to work the best. And I have 2 Prankatops. It's at 2, so you play 2. If it was at 1, you would play the 1. If it's at 3, you maybe want to consider playing just 2. Because when it was at 3, I hardly ever played 3. I happened to draw too many when I did play 3. So 2 seems good, and it's been working out fine. You just have to. It's one of those cards you just have to. I'm playing a Thunder deck. Denko is highly searchable. It's also a Thunder to make Colossus, but it locks the back row of Guru. Guru is popular. Striker is popular. Bad decks are popular. Denko usually is when it's a game. So, 1. Belle is here. Could be the second Deity Crow. Could be the third Ogre. Could be a third second Phantazmay. But I decided it to be Belle. Call by the Grave still see play in combo decks, so having Belle and any hand trap is usually enough to stop them when they have Call by the Grave. So the 1 Belle, big fan of it. I hardly ever use my normal summon, but when I do, I actually want it to be this. I've played against Pendulums enough to realize that it's not an easy task to break that board unless you have something like this. So I don't think I would play 3 since I don't think Pendulums would negate my draw cards as much as like effects. So they will allow me to probably dig for this. And if I don't have it, then we'll go to the next game. I'll summon Colossus and Titan. That's usually game. I will be linking a lot, and I do not want to face opposing Colossus. So I'm going to play 2 mind controls. I could play 3, honestly, but the third one in my mind tells me brick. It's not a card that I absolutely want to see, but it's a card that if I have it in my side deck against some deck, summons a big boss monster or the mirror match, it's usually game. Same for Twin Twisters, I guess. I was playing 3 last format because I didn't want to deal with mine, and to this day I've not played against mine, so just the idea of a card just auto winning was not correct. And now that it's no longer a thing but still a threat, I'm still keeping my Twin Twisters. Not 3 though, I'm playing 2 now. So I have the Denkos and the Brankatops, so I have ways to control back row. I still wanted to keep like a fast, quick way to out like an Imperial Order or Imperial Iron Wall or some nonsense. Just keep those for more backer removal, I guess, and getting into the traps. 3 red reboots. I'm not dealing with 4 traps. Twin Twister can only deal with 2. Denko has to like resolve. And red reboots a counter trap card that allows me to push. My deck can be very control-y, yes, but it can also put so much damage on board so quick that losing half my life points and giving them a card usually doesn't matter. A lot of the times at the end of that play, their backer is gone with Titan popping 4 cards and they have nothing. They're staring at a Titan Colossus and or like a Link 2 or 3. Or they're dying. So I am playing 3 red reboots, and because Striker is very popular, Solomon Great plays cards that they need to activate, like they need their Rotos. I figure, you know what, if everybody's relying on spell cards, if people are going to be citing Super Polys, if we're going to be citing Mind Controls, and like anything else, like archetype spells, I'm going to slow them down a little bit. I have 2-3 spells in my main deck. Post side deck, they even lose even more. I guess I take out more spells to remain more answers. So that's it for my side deck. That's it for my main deck and extra deck. If you guys have any questions, please post them down below and I'll do my best to reply. If you guys have a list on Thunder Dragons or Heroes or anything else that's in my channel, please post them and I'll check your videos. I'll comment and I'll subscribe if they're cool. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, if you learn anything, if you like the deck, please like the video, share it. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to stay tuned, subscribe. But thank you for watching. Alex out. Peace.